Hello, this is Serenity, and I'm here to talk today in this video blog about a topic that's very dear to my heart. And the reason it's so dear to my heart is that I feel very connected to this energy that I'm going to speak about today. And collectively, that is the energy of desire and the energy of the will. The human willpower, or the will of humanity, or you could say the lost will. I was introduced to a book a few years ago by my mother, who was introduced to it from her spiritual teacher. And her spiritual teacher had everybody read this book. Now there's, I think, 7 books in the series, and they do have a very out there connotation, and they're hard to digest, the information in these books. In fact, the first one, I have the first 3 books in the series here, which I've read a few times. I'm getting ready to move on to the 4th book, which is, they're all very challenging to read, and they all bring up a great deal inside the self. This 3rd book is the most challenging for me. In fact, I've had to put it down several times just to be able to process what comes up for me personally around this information. Now, this book is called The Right Use of Will. And we can say that right now, there isn't the right use of will going on inside of ourselves or in humanity. And you can see that on many levels today. So, what is the will, and where is it in ourselves? Well, frankly, to tell you the truth, even after doing spiritual work and getting sober and giving up so many things and moving through so much, when I read this book, I came to the understanding that I did not have a real connection with my personal power of choice. Even though I had done a great deal of work to get to where I am today, I realized that I still had a block here. And for example, I have things that I have not been able to stop doing or to cease to do. Energies that pull me in certain ways. Watching too much television, maybe it's eating sugar, maybe it's talking too much on the phone, or looking for things outside of myself externally to satisfy myself and satisfy my needs and where I'm at. Or even you could use the example of alcohol, which I have given up alcohol for 6 years now, and that's really helped me to gain this strength around my willpower. But I realized in reading this book here, The Right Use of Will, that actually there's another layer to go through, a lot of different layers to go through. And really what it comes down to is being able to have control of my being and my feelings, because the will is connected to our feelings. And really, our feelings are lost to us right now. And I am going to get into that into another video of why the feelings become lost. Where do they go? Why can't we feel ourselves? What are we so afraid to feel when we feel feelings? Well, we're afraid to feel pain and what's going on inside of us, how far away from ourselves we are. And the will lies with the higher self, or the true self, through the feelings. And that's what this book is all about. Now, for example, there's a chapter in here called Drugs, and what people go through around drugs, and why we are addicted to drugs, and where we've lost our power, our personal power. The will is really about our personal power, and having a connection to our personal power, and being able to exert that in all situations. Now, there's also a chapter in this book about love and relationships, and giving ourselves away in love and relationships, giving our personal power to another, and not taking responsibility for ourselves or our feelings. There's also a chapter in this book called Blame. And I was really taken back by that chapter in a sense that I realized that I had this going on. I had this with my mother. I had this with society. I had this with the people who taught me when I was growing up. I had this going on with the government. Whatever aspect of it, I had this going on. Now, energetically, when you blame or deflect with blame, you're not exerting your right use of will. You're actually putting out an energy to someone that's very damaging and very hurtful and very painful. This is when I learned more about energies, about what we do personally and how that affects every single ripple of the ethereal space or the energetic space around us. Where was my intention? Where was my heart? You know, this book or this book series helped me get in touch with my deeper intention. How to be kind, how to be loving, and what was happening when I wasn't. What was the cost of that when I wasn't? Now, the second book in the series goes into how us individually have given up our personal power, and there's many layers of it. For example, doing things that we don't want to do on a societal level, on a friend level, the way we're put into situations that we don't want on a daily basis, and what that looks like in humanity right now. What the loss of willpower in us each individually looks like on a global scale. You can see it looks like anger, hatred, even rage, war, lies, cheating, abuse. All these things come from repressing our will or our real desire or our feelings. The will is the female aspect of God. There's spirit and then there's desire. Spirit is the male energy of God. That's the self of God. That's the light energy. The will or the desire is the yang of that, the opposite, that actually is in the dark, waiting to create space to open for the light. It's the magnetic essence of God's will or God's desire. That's what the will energy in humanity is. Collectively, as human beings, we are living this out in fragments in our bodies. And outside of us, there's, what they're calling dark energy or dark matter, and it's also inside of us, that energy that we have to get through or deflect or come to terms with or understand. That's kind of the spiritual work that we're going through. God's desire is love. The essence of our feelings are love. The essence of the will energy that the human being possesses is love. And that is our desire for God. That is our desire for more. That is our desire for unity, union. It all has to do with the will essence of our hearts and our humanity. There is an internal connection between all of us. There is a oneness going on. And together in fragmentation, we're all working out this will energy of God in the bodies here on the ground. And if you want more information about this, I invite you to check out this book. They have it for sale on Amazon. They have the whole book series on their website, The Right Use of Will. Now, it's not for the faint of heart. It's very deep spiritual understandings, and it is difficult to digest, the information in this book. And that's good because it's actually there for you to get triggered and to move whatever it is inside of you that feels affected by this. Now, this was channeled from a woman. She received all this information from her higher self, and it came in through her around 1987, when also some other things were happening around God coming to this earth and having a personal experience in a body of a man to come and teach some truths. So this book coincides with a lot of the awakenings that are happening today, and talks a lot about it's time for humanity to make a choice and really start to focus on our feelings and start to heal the feelings that we have going on about ourselves, about the separation from ourselves, about the separation from each other, and about the separation from God and love. That's really what it's about. And individually, we all embody this lost will of humanity. And we all are part of bringing this lost will back towards God and towards love. And so I do invite you, if you want to go on a very deep spiritual journey with an incredible book, and in turn into your own will and feel your own will essence, I invite you to read The Right Use of Will. And please share your comments below about where it takes you, what you're feeling with it. You can always write something on my Facebook page. I've read the whole series, and I'm rereading the whole series again because I didn't quite get the understanding the first time, and I need more understanding. So I'm going at it again. So again, I invite you to check out this book if you want some radical spiritual movement, and to also comment below what you found from The Right Use of Will and how it's helped you find your will, your personal power within. Thank you.